There is a right way, there's a wrong way, and there's my way.
Was he insane or was he evil?
Hi guys, I'm Christina
And I'm Alicia, and in today's video we're doing a deep dive on the serial killer John Wayne Gacy.
John was born March the 17th, 1942, and he died 10th of May, 1994 by lethal injection.
Gacy, who was known as the Killer Clown, he was known as this because he dressed up as a clown and performed at children's parties. He was part of a clown joker club in Illinois. He struggled as a child. He was sexually abused, and he struggled with his homosexuality.
John was born in Chicago by his parents John Stanley and Marion. He was abused as a child and his two sisters due to his dad was involved in alcoholism.
Very abusive.
Very
father.
abusive, yeah.
Gacy was of Polish and Danish heritage. When he was 11, he was struck in the head by a swing, and he developed a blood clot which went unnoticed until he was 16 years old. He was prescribed medication to dissolve the blood clots, basically. It must have been a really hard hit in the head.
Yeah.
Serves him right, I guess.
That was before, wasn't
That
it?
was before everything happened, so
Yeah.
I wonder if, like you said, like would it have been he was hit in the head and then
you turned evil.
He turned evil, or was it like,
I'm sorry.
like
Maybe,
you just don't know. It's like, were they born evil, or
Yeah.
do they develop it? Like, it's
He was abused, wasn't
he was abused, no one knows, but there are people out there who are abused who aren't murderers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But then there's people hit in the head really hard who aren't murderers.
Yeah.
So it's like
This morning when you woke up and you found Gacy dead, what was your initial emotional response?
Just throw him down the crawl face. Get rid of him.
So Gacy had two children, one son, one daughter, and also a wife, who he kept on cheating with.
lovely.
Yeah. And he opened a club in his basement of his home called JC's, and that was only for like young boys, where he would sexually make sexual
Advances.
advances.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he killed young men, because he didn't want to come out as gay. So he felt bad after.
He struggled with it.
He struggled with it, so he thought, oh my god, I don't want anyone to know I'm gay. And there was rumours about him, so he thought, I have to kill him, get rid of the evidence of him being gay.
Yeah.
He moved in with his mum and worked as a chef. In 1971, a young boy came forward claiming to be essayed by Gacy. It went to court, but the boy never showed, so all charges were dropped against him. And then a year later, the same thing happened with another young boy. Gacy somehow flashed a fake police badge, lured him into his car and assaulted him, and again, charges were dropped against him.
He was a construction worker. He is very friendly and well known to many and donated to many charities. He appeared at children's performances for dressed as a clown.
Little did everyone know who he worked with, his family, his friends at the time. He didn't know that there was a darker side to him. Obviously, you don't know really who someone truly is.
He murdered 33 young gay men, and he lured them back into their house before he murdered them, obviously, not after they murdered, and then lured them into the house. Do you know what I mean?
The murders took place between 1972 and 1978. His method of murder was strangulation.
A few of his victims were employees and they went missing, so the parents then called the police.
Gacy got tired of digging holes around his crawl space, so he employed one of his employees to dig some more for him, David Cram. David Cram actually stayed in his house in one of the spare bedrooms. He came home from work to find Gacy in his clown costume, really drunk. Gacy then pinned him down and somehow managed to trick him into handcuffing him. He started spinning him around, shouting, "I'm gonna SA you." Somehow, Cram managed to get his key and escaped.
15-year-old boy Robert Peace disappeared on December the 11th, 1978.
Just before he vanished, he told a co-worker he was going to be working on a house down the road. Gacy had been at the pharmacy. He told the owner he was working on doing some remodeling and denied ever speaking to Peace because the police were called and he was questioned, and he denied ever speaking or talking or knowing this young boy.
On December the 13th, the police turned up and they found some suspicious items.
The suspicious items consisted of a driving licence that weren't his, clothes that were too small for him, syringes, a high school class ring, and a receipt from the pharmacy where the young boy Robert actually worked, where Gacy was a few nights before.
On December the 21st, he had confessed to one of the employees that he had murdered 30 people.
Shortly after Gacy was charged with marijuana possession, the police then took out a second search warrant, went back to his house, did further investigations and found bones in his crawl space. Now that he knew that he was up for murder charges, he confessed to the police to killing about 25 to 30 young men. He admitted that most of the bodies were buried in his crawl space, in his home. He also confessed to 5 of the bodies he had chucked over a bridge and into a river.
He drew a map of where the bodies were in his house.
He admitted to police that he would lure them back to his house, promising either young teenagers who were runaways or male prostitutes. He'd promised them money for sex. Obviously, when they got back to his house, he would force them to do things against their will. He would tie them up and shove clothes or pieces of items down their mouths to stop them from screaming.
He kept the bodies as long as decomposition would allow.
The police then went back to his house to do more searches, and more human remains turned up. This went on for a period of 4 months, and in that time TV crews, news reporters turned up, and this basically went huge and everyone knew about it.
Wayne Gacy, that name is synonymous with cruelty and evil. He dressed as a clown but became one of America's most feared serial killers. And now a true crime podcaster with a personal connection to the killer is putting stacks and stacks of Gacy recordings on the air. Interviews with the murderer as he prepared for his...
The victims' ages ranged between 14 and 21.
On February 6, 1980, his trial began in Chicago. He pleaded not guilty due to reason of insanity. However, this was rejected instantly. Whilst on trial, Gacy joked that the only thing he was guilty for was running a cemetery without a license. Sick joke. Sick man.
His defence team claimed he did this accidentally due to strangulation during sexual intercourse.
According to reports, Gacy was not remorseful. His last words were, "In his cell, kiss my ass."
So his last meal was shrimp, a KFC, fresh strawberries and French fries.
Wow.
That's
It should have been.
shrimp.
Yeah, it should have been poo on toast. But yeah, and obviously, like I say, his final words were "kiss my ass." So he had no remorse whatsoever. And I think he, obviously, like I said earlier, I think he was probably covering up the fact that he was gay, and back in the day it was frowned upon and he didn't like it. He couldn't come to terms with his sexuality. He had an abusive upbringing. Not trying to justify his reasons, obviously, because it's wrong. No matter what the reasons are for killing someone, you don't do it. Like, taking someone else's life is the worst thing you can do, and I hope he's rotting in hell. at the moment. But that is probably what I can conclude from that. And the fact that he's a sick bastard, basically. Thank you guys for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it.
Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. A nice one!
Nice one! Where's that come from? Nice one! Oh god. Yeah, we shall see you guys soon. Have a good day wherever it is you are doing. Bye guys!